The unassuming bookstore near the intersection of Malcolm X Boulevard and West 132nd Street is anything but ordinary. It's called Revolution Books. It doesn't just have books about revolutions around the world. It's a center to start an American Revolution round two.
What the bookstore does do is it promotes the ideas, it enables people to understand what the history of fascism, the history of white supremacy in this country, and misogyny and these various things, and it can provide the materials to a movement and the forum for discussion of this.
He took a major ad in the New York Times the first week of January that stated that it wanted to stop the Trump-Pence fascist regime.
Millions of people need to take to the streets in every city, but most especially we need to bring Washington to a halt, and we aim to create a political crisis that forces every faction within the ruling structure of this country to reckon with what it would mean to put this man in power and this regime in power.
In the bookstore, they have this giant poster that says Mein Trumpf, alluding to Mein Kampf, which is a book that Hitler wrote while he was in prison. And on the poster it says, "A thoroughly American fascist pig," referring to Trump, and it says, "brought to you by a vicious and thoroughly rotten system." And he also talked about immigration. Donald Trump has said that he wants to deport illegal immigrants. He said that if Donald Trump does implement a plan like that, it would cause a lot of friction, a lot of trauma in families. People would protest, but he believes that a Trump administration would clamp down on that protest, and it would be too late to then protest once the protest was clamped down on. So
another valid point.
But when I was speaking to Andy, I said, well, you know, it's probably too late. Donald Trump is going to be president on Friday, Inauguration Day.
It is too late. It is too late.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've already seen protests. And where has that gotten us? Nowhere. There are so many holes right now with his revolution. I'm all for change. I'm all for movements, but let's have some validation behind it.
Let me just ask you, how's the revolution going?
Oh, wait, no.
And where's the mobilization?
She said, I got it.
There's been a revolution right here on set. Sabine is out.
Okay.
We're having our own revolution.
Again, okay, I am not.
You have his evidence?
I am not Andy's spokesperson, and
Right.
I'm not advocating for what he's saying. These are thousands of people who have joined the Refuse Fascism movement.
I'm sure Meryl Streep's on there.
There's your validation. Meryl Streep is not on it, but there are some big names on it already. There is, I know you're a fan of him, Cornel West.
Oh, I've met him.
Yeah, you're a big fan of his. Yeah, he's on this list.
I never told you I was a big fan of his, so don't put words in my mouth.
You know him very well.
Let's go let him
You know him very well.
Right? I've met him in person.
Do you respect his work?
I do respect Cornel West.
So somebody you respect is on this list.
But no one very well
Deborah Messing, a celebrity, is on this list.
Yeah,
and Rosie O'Donnell is on this list. So again,
oh my God, Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm not advocating for revolution.
No, right.
I am just standing up for my interview and for Andy and what his thoughts. I just want to make sure that comes through.
Is he going to be in Washington? Is he going to protest?
Yeah, absolutely. They plan on being in the Capitol from the weekend of Martin Luther King, so from that Saturday all the way to Inauguration Day, and they plan to protest and really try to have an American Revolution round two.